Shabbat Shalom. It's good to be here this morning. Thankful for the Sabbath. Thankful for this day. YAH is beyond good to us. We just always seek Him with our whole heart. Had conversations this week about things that take our distraction and where our focus is. And true joy comes from seeking YAH and knowing YAH. Contentment comes from that also. So just seeing that, seeking that, we're not there yet. We have not yet sought Him with our whole heart. A lot of things in our life take our focus, and that's not how it should be. So, thankful. Let's just go ahead and stand and turn to Exodus 15. Now, I would normally not be a person that would teach a message like this, but I think this kind of stuff needs to be said for us in Exodus. So Exodus 15 and 1, and we'll go ahead and start to read. Then Moshe and the children of Israel sang this song to YAH and spoke, saying, I sing to YAH, for He is highly exalted. The horse and its riders He has thrown into the sea. YAH is my strength and song, and He has become my deliverance. YAH is my El, and I praise Him. Elohim of my father, and I exalt Him. YAH is a man of battle. YAH is His name. He has cast Pharaoh's chariots and his army into the sea, and His chosen officers are drowned in the sea of reeds, or the Red Sea, either or. The depths covered them. They went down to the bottom like a stone. Your right hand, O YAH, has become great in power. Your right hand, O YAH, has crushed the enemy. And in the greatness of your excellence, you pulled down those who rose up against you. You sent forth your wrath. It consumed them like stubble. And with the wind of your nostrils, the waters were heaped up. The floods stood like a wall. The depths became stiff in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I pursue, I overtake, I divide the spoil. My being is satisfied on them. I draw out my sword, my hand destroys them. You blew with your wind, the sea covered them. They sank like lead in the mighty waters. Who is like you, O YAH, among the mighty ones? Who is like you, great in set apartness, awesome in praises, working wonders? You stretched out your right hand, the earth swallowed them. In your kindness you led the people whom you have redeemed. In your strength you guided them to your set-apart dwelling. So let's lift up our eyes. YAH, bless the people. YAH, may we respect your name and take it in honor that you have put it upon us, YAH. May we just bring reverence to you. Bring a good name to you, YAH. We pray to protect your reputation, for you are good. There is no one beside you, YAH. I pray that you would be with the people, and may we focus on you more and more every day. Baruch Hashem, hallelujah, amen. You all may be seated. So, what are we going to talk about this morning? I think that it's very interesting, and I'd always scratch my head, and maybe it's intentionally written like that in the King James Version, but the verse that we're going to get into is verse 3. So we'll read 15 and 1 again. Then Moshe and the children of Israel sang this song to YAH and spoke, saying, I sing to YAH, for He is highly exalted. The horse and its rider He is thrown into the sea. So if you know what is happening here, they are coming out of Egypt. They have just crossed over the Reed Sea, or the Sea of Reeds, whatever you want to call it, Red Sea. I know there's a lot of debate on where it is and what it is. So I'm not going to get into that, but they have just now crossed over. YAH has destroyed Pharaoh. They were worried, and YAH has given them deliverance. So He has redeemed Israel. Then Moshe and the children of Israel sang this song when they're on the other side of the sea, and spoke, saying, I sing to YAH, for He is highly exalted. The horse and its rider He has thrown into the sea. YAH is my strength and song, and He has become my deliverance. He is my El, and I praise Him. Elohim of my father, and I exalt Him. YAH is a man of battle. YAH is His name. That's the verse that we're going to get into. So, other versions say, the master is a warrior. The Easy English says, the master is like a great soldier. The EBR says, Yahweh is a warlike one. That word man. That word man, so YAH is a warlike man. YAH is a man of war. That word war is ish. Man, husband, champion, worthy. If we had a title for this message this morning, it would be YAH the Champion. We were going to call the title of the message God of War. because that's who he is. We're going to battle this morning between New Testament and Old Testament. We're going to give you some thought-striking or some shocking thoughts this morning concerning New Testament, concerning Old Testament, which there's no such thing as Old Testament, there's no such thing as New Testament, it's just Tanakh and that is it. But just thinking about that, we're going to put forward some pretty shocking thoughts of why that the New Testament was made. So, Yah is a God of war. He is a warrior. You think about whenever they were going to get taken into exile, why did Yah not fight for them then? Because they were rebellious. You think about whenever they rebelled and they made the golden calf, and Yah said, I am not going with you. Why were they overtaken? You look at Israel's history, it was a history of war. All of it. Now, when did they prevail? When God was on their side. When Yah was on their side. When were they defeated? When they did not have Yah in their presence. Why were they defeated? For rebellion. So no matter what anybody tells you, he is the God of war. He is a warrior. He fights the battle for his people. And if you see anything through the Tanakh, it's about war. So no matter what they tell you, and there's people out there that are like, and I had somebody talk to me while I was at the gym, and they said, he's coming. Jesus is coming back. Jesus is coming back. And that is the greatest lie that people could be deceived by. They have a false hope. And when that happens, or when that does not happen, what they have been looking for, they will have nowhere to turn. And we've been reading in Isaiah, as a family, we've been reading in Isaiah, and there will be a time when idolatry will be turned on its head. And everybody will seek Yah. That's what it says in Isaiah. And we've been talking often about the tribulation that will come upon the earth and come upon the seed of Jacob, and then people will have nowhere to go because their idols will not be able to provide, and then they will turn to Yah. And it said it plainly in Isaiah, and it says it plainly in Deuteronomy. So, Yah is a man of battle. Yah is his name. He has cast Pharaoh's chariots, verse 4, and his army into the sea. And his chosen officers are drowned in the sea of reeds. The depths covered them. They went down to the bottom like a stone. Your right hand, O Yah, has become great in power. If you've got anybody on your side in a time of war, you want it to be Yah. Because he will fight your battle. Your right hand, O Yah, has become great in power. Your right hand, O Yah, has crushed the enemy. And in the greatness of your excellence, you pulled down those who rose up against you. You sent forth your wrath. It consumed them like stubble. And with the wind of your nostrils, the waters were heaped up. The floods stood like a wall. The depths became stiff in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I pursue, I overtake. So this is what Pharaoh is saying. I divide the spoil. My being is satisfied on them. I draw out my sword. My hand destroys them. Yah, you blew with your wind. The sea covered them. They had no power. They had no strength. They sank like lead in the mighty waters. Who is like you, O Yah, among the mighty ones? So what he is comparing this to is our Elohim to their mighty ones. Where was Pharaoh's mighty ones to save him against the hand of God, or the hand of Yah? Nowhere. Nowhere. Their mighty ones will not be able to save them. And that is the theme throughout the Testament. You better be certain you got Yah on your side. You stretched out your hand. Let's continue in verse 11 again. Who is like you, O Yah, among the mighty ones? Who is like you, great in set apartness? So you have all these mighty ones that people are worshiping and serving and bowing down to and following their doctrines and applying the teachings to their life. And Yah is set apart from them. He is in set apartness. There is nobody like him. We were talking about verse 3. He is a man of war. He's not a man. And like I said, I think that's why the King James Version wrote that like that, to make you think that Jesus is God. He is not a man of war. What it is he is a warrior. He is a champion. You stretched out your right hand, verse 12, the earth swallowed them. In your kindness you led the people whom you have redeemed. In your strength you guided them to your set apart dwelling. Joshua 1. Now, if you know about Joshua, Joshua comes into the land, Yehoshua, he comes into the land, and what does Yah do? Yah uses him in war to take the land. So, Joshua 1 and verse 5. No man is going to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moshe, so I am with you. I do not fail you nor forsake you. You want Yah on your side. And I tell you that the end, it's going to be war. That's it. The end is going to be war. It's not going to be peace. It's war. Now, Christianity has taught you to do what? And wonder why so many people overseas are laying down their necks. Because they've been taught to. We have been taught to be pacified. There's no fight in them. That's what you've been taught. What does it say in Matthew? If you do not lose your life, you will not gain your life for my name's sake. They have been taught to lay down their life and not to fight. And I remember my grandmother saying that. When they come to my door, I'll gladly put my neck down. Yah is a God of war. And the people have been taught pacifism. If somebody smotes you on the cheek, what are you to do? Turn the other cheek. You know where that also comes from? He said, but rather I say to you, it has been written, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, if someone smites you on the cheek, turn the other one to them. We have been taught to not resist. We have been taught to comply. And you know why they comply? For the comforts of life. I was talking to somebody this week and they said, all I want to do is paint and be happy. Just do what we tell you to do, and you can return back to the way that things were. I tell you this morning, of truth, things are never going to go back the way that they were. It's never going to be the same. I'm sorry. And they are psychologically feeding you junk for you to comply. And there's no fight in us. None. No man is going to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moshe, so I am with you. I do not fail you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, for you are to let this people inherit the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and very courageous, to guard, to do according to all the Torah which Moshe my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right or left, so that you act wisely wherever you go. Now, I'm thinking about this verse, and I'm looking what the New Testament has written, and how many times does it say, I've given you a new commandment? It says that in John. I've given you a new commandment. They have turned from the Torah. Now, you only have strength in Yah when you follow Yah. And if you've noticed, when you've transferred and you come over to Tanakh only, do you not have more strength? Are you not bolder than you used to be? And what you know and where you stand? Is not the Spirit of Yah with you, and you are strengthened? Because he has given you the ability to understand that you do have the ability to do what he has commanded you. Be strong, be courageous. Do not turn from the right to the left. Why? Because it's a path. It's a path to travel. And on that path, Yah is with you. He is your strength. Just like it said when they came over the Sea of Reeds, Yah is my strength. He has become my deliverance. My servant commanded you, do not turn from the right or to the left. See that you are to act wisely wherever you go. Do not let this book of the Torah depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you guard to do according to all that is written in it. What do you meditate on in the day? Where is your meditation? Is it on the words of Yah? Or is it on everything in the world? Is it the distractions of the TV? Is it the distractions of the music? Whatever it is. Where is your mind? He said, meditate day and night. That is thinking of his thoughts, thinking of the word, focusing on him, seeing what he has done. How many times does he command you? And it is your responsibility to think about his testimonies. What he has done for the children of Israel. You shall guard to do them and remember them, to teach them to your kids. Day and night. Meditate day and night. Verse 8, so that you guard to do according to all that is written in it. For then you shall make your way prosperous and act wisely. Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid, nor be discouraged, for Yah, your Elohim, is with you wherever you go. He told him 3 times, be strong, be courageous. Twice, I am with you. Once, I will never forsake you. For Yah, your Elohim, is with you wherever you go. And Yehoshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, Yehoshua. That can be Yah is salvation, or it can be Yah saved. So what did Yah use Joshua for? Salvation, redemption of Israel, for them to come into the land. Now, we're going to go a lot through Isaiah. So, Isaiah 33 and 10. I just think that, and I'm going to talk about it later, that Catholicism created Christianity. From wherever it came from, whether it was called Catholicism before that, whether it was pagan doctrine, they adopted it. They took it, and now they are a part of the plan. They want the people to be pacified. They don't want the people to fight. Their religion is a part of the ultimate plan. No wonder Christianity is one of the greatest religions. Isaiah 33 and 10. Now I rise up, declares Yah. Now I am exalted. Now I am lifted up. You conceive chaff. You bring forth stubble. Your spirit devours you like fire. And peoples shall be like the burnings of lime, like thorns cut up. They are burned in the fire. You who are afar off, hear what I shall do. And you who are near, know my might. Sinners in Zion shall be afraid. Trembling shall grip the defiled ones. Who of us shall dwell with the devouring fire? Who of us shall dwell with everlasting burning? So these are the sinners in Zion. I don't know who is over there right now. I'm not going to debate on that either. But nevertheless, sin is rampant in Israel. That's it. Sin is rampant in Israel. So whatever Yah is going to do, it says there's going to be a consuming fire, and where will the sinners stand? Yah's going to purge the land. Sinners in Zion shall be afraid. Trembling shall grip the defiled ones. Who of us shall dwell with the devouring fire? Who of us shall dwell with everlasting burnings? He who walks righteously and speaks what is straight. So the sinners are saying, who's going to be able to last this fire? He who walks righteously and speaks what is straight. He who rejects the gain of oppressors, who keeps his hands from accepting bribes, who stops his ears from hearing of bloodshed, and shuts his eyes from seeing evil. He shall inherit the heights. Strongholds of rocks be his refuge. His bread shall be given him, his water be steadfast. Your eyes shall see the sovereign in his comeliness. See a land that is far off. Your heart ponders fear. Where is your scribe? Where is he who weighs? Where is he who counts the towers? No longer shall you see a fierce people, a people of too deep a lip to hear, of a jabbering tongue no one understands. See Sion, the city of our appointed time. Your eyes shall see Yerushalayim. An undisturbed home, a tent not taken down. Its stakes are never removed, nor any of its cords broken. I loved that verse because when it comes to tents, anything can happen to your tent. Your tent is fairly frail. Your cord can be broken. Your stake can be removed. And Yah says that's not going to happen. I think about the upkeep of houses. You need to maintain the house. I think about that. And when it comes to something so frail as a tent, Yah said your cord's not going to be broken and your stake's not removed. In that time, you will be protected. But there, great is Yah for us. Place of broad rivers, streams in which no boat with oars sails, nor big ships pass by. For Yah is our judge, Yah is our lawgiver, Yah is our sovereign. He saves us. Your ropes shall be slack. They do not strengthen their mast. They shall not spread the sail. Then the prey of great plunder shall be divided. The lame shall take the prey. Neither shall they inhabit it. Say, I am sick. The people who dwell in it are forgiven their wickedness. Continuing on, chapter 34. Come near, you nations, to hear. And listen, you people, let the earth hear, and all that is in it, the world and all its offspring. For the displeasure of Yah is against all the nations. How long have we been talking about this? The displeasure of Yah is against all the nations, and his wrath against all their divisions. He shall put them under the ban. He shall give them over to the slaughter. So what you see here is eventually all nations going away from Yah. And everyone who goes away from Yah will turn their hearts against Israel. This is what you see. But Yah says, I'm going to take care of my people, and all the nations are going to be destroyed. He says that numerous times. For the displeasure of Yah is against all the nations, and his wrath against all their divisions. He shall put them under the ban, and he shall give them over to the slaughter. And their slain be thrown down, and their stench rise from their corpses, and mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all of the host of the Shemayim shall rot away, and the Shemayim shall be rolled up like a scroll. I think that's where they get that verse at. But Jesus isn't coming in the clouds. The heavens are going to be rolled back like a scroll, and this is judgment, is what this is. Judgment. The Shemayim shall be rolled back like a scroll, and all their hosts fade like a leaf fading on the vine, and like the fading one of a fig tree. For my sword shall be drenched in the Shemayim. Look, it comes down on Edom, and on the people of my curse for judgment. The sword, I said sword. The sword of Yah shall be filled with blood. It shall be made overflowing with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yah has a slaughtering in Batsra, Botsra, and a great slaughter in the land of Edom. And wild oxen shall come down with them, and young bulls with bulls. And the land shall be drenched with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of vengeance of Yah, the year of recompense for the cause of Zion. It's going to be war. And its streams shall be turned into tar, and its dust into sulfur, and its land shall become burning tar, that it is not quenched night or day, its smoke going up forever. From generation to generation it lies waste. No one passes through it forever and ever. So that the pelican and the porcupine possess it, and the owl and the raven dwell in it. And he shall stretch out over it the line of formlessness and stones of emptiness. Its caves, with no one in them, is called a rain. But all its rulers have vanished. And thorns shall come up in its palaces, nettles and brambles in its strongholds, and it shall be a home for jackals, a courtyard for ostriches. And the wild beast of the desert shall also meet with the jackals, and the shaggy goat call to its companion. The night creature, which kind of terrifies me, shall also settle there, and shall find for herself a place of rest. The arrow snake shall nest there, and lay eggs, and hatch, and gather them under her shadow. There too the vulture shall gather, each with its mate. Search for the book of YAH, and read. Not one of these shall be missing. Not one shall be without a mate, for he has commanded my mouth, and his ruach shall gather them. And he shall cast the lot for them, and his hand shall divide it among them with a measuring line. They possess it forever, for generation to generation they dwell in it. There's hope. He's going to destroy. The fire will come. But what does he say about Israel? Chapter 35. Let the wilderness and the dry place be glad for them. And let the desert rejoice and blossom as the rose. It blossoms much and rejoices, even with joy and singing. The esteem of Lebanon shall be given to it, and the excellence of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the esteem of YAH, the excellency of our Elohim. Strengthen the weak hands, and make firm the weak knees. So to those, say to those with anxious heart, be strong, do not fear. See, your Elohim comes with vengeance. With the recompense of Elohim, he is coming to save you. He's going to destroy the nations. He's going to protect Israel. He is coming with vengeance. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf be opened. Then the lame shall leap like a deer, and the tongue of the dumb sing. Because waters shall burst forth in the wilderness, and streams in the desert. And the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land springs of water. In the home for jackals, where each lay grass with reeds and rushes. And there shall be a highway and a way, and it shall be called the way of set apartness. I'm looking for that. He can do anything. We wonder, how are we going to get over there? I'm not worried about that. And the reason I'm not worried about that, because his promise is, everybody from the four corners, I'm going to bring you. And it don't matter how he does it. If he wants to swoop down a nimbus and pick you up, he's going to do it. He can do it any way he wants to. Continuing on. Burst forth in the wilderness. It will be a set apart way. The unclean does not pass over it. That is a charge to all of us. If you are unclean, if you are not set apart, you're not going to be there. You're not going to make it. The unclean does not pass over it, but it is for those who walk the way and not a wandering fool. No lion is there, nor any ravenous beast go up on it. It is not found there, but the redeemed shall walk there. And the ransomed of YAH shall return and enter Zion with singing, with everlasting joy on their heads. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. That's one of the most aggravating noises in the world, is a sigh. Just sighs. Sighs are just the most aggravating noise. There is hope for us, but there will be war. There will be bloodshed. Psalms 35. Psalms 35 and 19. Let not my lying enemy rejoice over me, or those who hate me without a cause wink their eyes. For they do not speak peace, but they devise words of deceit against the peaceable ones of the land. And they open their mouth wide against me. They say, Aha, aha, our eyes have seen it. This you have seen. O YAH, do not be silent. O YAH, do not be far from me. Stir up yourself and awake to my right ruling. To my cause, my Elohim and my master. Rule me rightly, O YAH, my Elohim, according to your righteousness. And let them not rejoice over me. So who is David talking about? His enemies. Let them not rejoice over me. Let them not say in their hearts, Aha, our desire. Let them not say, we have swallowed him up. Let those who are rejoicing at my trouble, that's not evil, that's trouble, be ashamed and abashed. So become blushing. Let those who are exalting themselves over me be clad in shame and humiliation. Let those who delight in my righteous cause shout for joy and be glad. And let them always say, Let YAH be made great. Who is desiring the peace of his servant? And my tongue shall speak of your righteousness, your praise all day long. David did not pray for his enemy in a good way. Now, it does say at some point in times that he tried to do good to people, and they turned on him. And he said, Those that mock me, let them be ashamed. Psalms 52, 53, and 54. Psalms 52, 53, 54. They're all fairly short. So we're going to read all of them. YAH will destroy the wicked. He will take vengeance upon your enemies. Psalms 52. The chief singer, a poem of David, when Doeg, the Edomite, came and told Shaul and said, David went to the house of Amalek. Why do you boast in evil, O mighty man? The kindness of El is all day long. Your tongue devises destruction like a sharp razor, working deceit. And you see the motivation that Shaul had. He despised David. He was angry with David. There was hatred for David. He wanted him gone. And then David showed mercy on Shaul and did not destroy him. Why? Because he knew if he destroyed the king or hurt the king, that YAH was going to destroy him. So David had right ruling and righteousness, and he was just and understanding. Why do you boast in evil, O mighty man? The kindness of El is all day long. Your tongue devises destruction like a sharp razor working deceit. You loved evil more than good, lying more than speaking righteousness. Pause. Lying more than speaking righteousness. You loved all devouring words, O tongue of deceit. Let El also break you down forever. Take you and pluck you out of your tent, and he shall uproot you from the land of the living. Selah. And let the righteous see and revere and laugh at him. See the man who did not make Elohim his strength, but trusted in many riches, being strong in his destruction. But I am like a green olive tree in the house of Elohim. I have trusted in the kindness of Elohim forever and ever. I thank you forever because you have done it. And in the presence of your kind ones, I wait for your name, for it is good. Chapter 53, to the chief singer on sickness, a psalm of David. The fool has said in his heart, there is no Elohim, there is no YAH. They have done corruptly. They have done abominable unrighteousness. So this is the nations. This is the nations turning against YAH. They said there is no YAH, there is no righteousness, there will only do unrighteousness. They have done corruptly. No one does good. Now, this is taken out of context and put in Romans. There is none good, no, not one. Who is he talking about? The wicked of the world. He's talking about the one who does not recognize YAH. They do no good. Their mouth is an open sepulcher. Notice, they have done abominable unrighteousness. No one does good. Who? The one who says there is no Yah. Yah looked down from the Shemayim on the children of men to see if there was a wise one seeking Elohim. Of them who say there is. Why are you going to seek something you don't believe in? They're not going to seek Yah because they don't believe in it. He's not real to them. There is not one wise seeking Elohim. They have all turned aside. They have all together become filthy. Not one or no one is doing good, not even one. Any of them who say there is no Yah, there is no good in them. Have the workers of wickedness no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread? So therefore, he just separated them. There's the wicked of the world who say there is no Yah, and he has separated his people from them. That's why he's not talking about, I've looked down upon the world and I've seen everybody is wicked. I've looked down upon the world and I've seen those who do not seek me do not know how to do good. They are separate from my people. They eat up my people as they eat bread. They do not call, do not call on Yah. People, why are you going to seek something you don't believe in? There they are in great fear where no fear was. For Yah has scattered the bones of him who encamps against you, and you shall put them to shame, for Yah has rejected them. Oh, that the deliverance of Israel would be given out of Zion. When Elohim turns back the captivity of his people, let Yaakov rejoice, let Israel be glad. Chapter 54. To the chief singer on stringed instruments, a poem of David, when the Ziphites came and said to Shaul, does David not hide himself with us? O Elohim, save me by your name, and rightly rule by your might. Hear my prayer, O Elohim, give ear to the words of my mouth. For strangers have risen up against me, and cruel men have sought after my life. They have not put Elohim before them. Rest. Pause. See, Elohim is my helper. Yah is with those who sustain my life. Anyone protecting the chosen, the set apart, the sanctified, the anointed of Yah, Yah will sustain the life. He repays evil to my enemies. Cut them off in your truth. Voluntarily I slaughter to you. I praise your name, O Yah, for it is your good. For he has delivered me out of all distress, and my eye has looked upon my enemies. So, David did not pray good for his enemies. He prayed destruction on his enemies. There's a great contrast in between what they call the New Testament and the Tanakh. Yah will destroy the wicked and will take vengeance upon your enemies. 1 Samuel 4. First Samuel 4 and 1, and we talked about many times how we are his vessels, we are his tools. He uses us for his will and to do his will. And that goes both ways. When it comes to Assyria and it comes to Nebuchadnezzar, he used them as his tool to do his will. 1 Samuel 4 and 1, thus the word of Shemuel was to all Israel. And Israel went out to battle against the Philistines and encamped beside Eben ha-Azir, while the Philistines encamped in Ephek. And the Philistines put themselves in battle array against Israel. And when the battle spread, Israel was smitten by the Philistines, who killed about 4,000 men of the army in the field. And when the people came into the camp, the elders of Israel said, why has Yah smitten us today before the Philistines? Let us bring the ark of the covenant of Yah from Shiloh to us, so that he comes into our midst and save us from the hand of our enemies. This is what I think about what's happening here. When you keep your eyes on the covenant and you understand the ark, you're strengthened. Yah said, those that keep my covenant, I will not forsake you. Where was their focus? Why did they have to bring the ark in? So they were focused completely on who their power was given to, who had their power. It was YAH. So I think about if you keep the focus on the covenant and you keep the focus on YAH, it strengthens you in the battle. Why has YAH smitten us today? Verse 3, before the Philistines, let us bring the ark of the covenant of YAH from Shiloh to us, so that he comes into our midst and save us from the hand of our enemies. And the people sent to Shiloh, and they brought from there the ark of the covenant. Now I notice, this is so good, because when the ark comes in, see what the Philistines say, or the Philistines. Dwelling between the cherubim. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of Elohim. And when the ark of the covenant of YAH came into the camp, all Israel shouted so loudly that the earth shook. And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, what is the noise of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews? Ibrahim. And when they knew that the ark of YAH had come into the camp, the Philistines were afraid. For they said, Elohim has come into the camp. And they said, woe to us, for it has never been like this before. Woe to us, who shall deliver us from the hand of this mighty Elohim? These are the Elohim who smote the Mitzrites and all the plagues in the wilderness. Be strong and be men, you Philistines, that you do not become servants of the Hebrews, as they have been to you. Be men and fight. And the Philistines fought, and Israel was smitten, and every man fled to his tent. And the slaughter was very great, and there fell of Israel 30,000 foot soldiers. So, YAH was not there. YAH was not there. And I think about that. What we wanted to get out of this was be ye like men, is what that is. That quit ye like men is YAH will destroy the wicked. Where's that verse? Be strong, O Philistines, be men. Behave like men. Act like men. So, we become cowards. We've become to the point to where we're giving in. There's no strength left in us. Be like men. Seeing the covenant of YAH gives strength. Deuteronomy 20 and verse 1. Deuteronomy 20 and verse 1. When you go out to battle against your enemies and shall see horses and chariots and people more numerous than you, do not be afraid of them, for YAH your Elohim, who brought you up from the land of Mitzrayim, is with you. And it shall be, when you draw near to battle, that the Kohen shall come and speak to the people, and shall say to them, Hear, O Israel, you are drawing near today to battle with your enemies. Do not let your heart faint. Do not fear or tremble or be afraid before them. For YAH your Elohim is he who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you. And the officers shall speak to the people, saying, Who is the man who has built a new house and has not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle and another man dedicate it. So, talking about going into battle, where is your focus? The third thing that he charges against them would probably be more on my end. And that's what I think of often when we get to this. But if you have a house and you did not dedicate it, where is your focus going to be? It's going to be on the house that was not dedicated. And who is the man who has planted a vineyard and has not begun to use it? Let him also go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle and another man should begin to use it. So where was his thought at? It was on the vineyard. And who is the man who is engaged to a woman and has not taken her? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle and another man take her. So to prevent his wife from giving seed to someone else and not prolonging his name, YAH said, go back and be with your wife. And the officers shall speak further to the people and say, Who is the man who is afraid and tender of heart? Let him go and return to his house, lest the heart of his brothers faint like his heart. So I think about that. If you are not ready for battle, if you are not ready to fight, if your heart and your mind is on other endeavors, you will not make it in battle. That needs your complete focus. What I really like about that verse is something that we have to charge ourselves with. If you are scared and you go into battle, you can convince other people to be scared also. So if you are not ready and you are not prepared, you can ruin others from your fear. Huh? Yeah. That's what it says right here. I mean, this is still Torah. So yeah, that's what it says. Who is the man who is afraid and tender of heart? Let him go and return to his house, lest the heart of his brothers faint like his. Now, really good thought thinking about that. Just be prepared to give your life when it comes down to it. In the battle, you have to be full, well prepared to die. When it comes to the thing that we were talking about, the 25 attributes, and we talked about the difference between skills and attributes, there's a really good thought that he has in there, the difference between peak performance and optimal performance. Now, peak performance, you can't go beyond that, okay? You're at your peak, you're in the zone, you're completely focused, you're doing your best, so on and so forth. But optimal performance is a lot different than that. Optimal performance can be fairly messy. You go in, you have a plan, and the plan does not go according to the way that you thought it would. You still get the job done, but it was messy. That is optimal performance. You are doing what needs to be done, even though the situation does not go as it planned. You come out and you have accomplished the task, but it didn't look pretty. That's optimal performance. That is someone who has those attributes. If you have attributes, you can go in and get the job done, even though it probably didn't look the greatest. That's the two different ones, peak performance and optimal performance. Doing what needs to be done, though you might have limited resources. I am with you. Do not be faint of heart. Numbers 26. Numbers 26 and verse 1. And it came to be after the plague, Numbers 26. Numbers 26 and verse 1. And it came to be after the plague that YAH spoke to Moshe and Eleazar, son of Aaron, the Cohen, saying, Take a census of all the congregation of the children of Israel for 20 years old and above by their fathers' houses, everyone going out to the army in Israel. So there was a census. Who is qualified to go to the army? Who is qualified to fight? God is a God of war. He prepared his people for battle. And then how did they take the census? I think it was a shekel. They didn't count heads. They took a shekel. I think that's what it was. And that's how they counted the people. And I think it's really good because he also gave me this thought. Why was David rebuked whenever he counted his army? And the reason I think that it is, and it refers back to Gideon. And what did YAH say to Gideon? You've got too many people. And then whenever you go in, you're going to think that you're the ones that won this battle. So if you count your army, and you know how many people are in your army, you think it's you that is winning the battle. And it's not YAH who has done it. So I made a correlation between what David did and what Gideon did. YAH said, spread them out. We want less. And there's also another good thing in that Gideon. And they talked about the lapping and the one that brings to the mouth. The reference that they make to that, because it was always confusing to me, the one that lapped was the one that was used to bowing down to idols. They were used to bowing down like that, so they went down to lap. I thought that was pretty interesting. But anyway, YAH is a God of war. Who is qualified to go to war? They took a census. New versus old, pacifism. Matthew 16:25, you shall lose your life for my name's sake. Anyone who tries to gain their life, in other words, fight, shall not gain life. Matthew 5:38 and 39, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, but I say, turn the other cheek. Marina often talks about how give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Pacifism. A new commandment I give you, that is to veer from the path. It is a mind game. We have been taught to give in and not fight. The correlation is made many times between New Testament and the Maccabees. the Maccabees were ready to fight. We were taught to make it easy for them. No resistance, no fight. You can just go back to the life. It is all a plan. They supply every need that you have, your shelter, your food, your doctor, whatever it is, they supply it all. And then what happens? Whenever they implement a new doctrine, if you don't comply with that new doctrine and you want to resist, you're cut off. So they have made us so dependent on the system that they've got us by the throats. If you don't do what we tell you to do, you can't go back to that normal life that you've always wanted or you had before pre-COVID. They've got you. They've got you. So therefore, what do the people do? They don't want to resist. They would rather comply. Because when you comply, you can go back to your normal life. Eye for an eye. We were taught to make it easy on them. No resistance. No fight. Catholicism is the root of it all, and they are a part of the plan. Their religion. Leviticus 26, and we'll close out. Let's be strengthened. If you need repentance and you need to turn back, turn back. Because if you're going all out on your own, you're not going to make it. Period. You're just not going to make it. Leviticus 26 and 1. Do not make idols for yourselves, and do not put up a carved image or a pillar for yourselves, and do not place a stone image in your land to bow down to it, for I am YAH your Elohim. Guard my Sabaoth, and reverence my set apart, my temple. I am YAH, my Mikdash. If you walk in my laws and guard my commands and shall do them, then I shall give you rain in its season, and the land shall yield its crops, and the trees of the field yield their fruit. We were reading through the art scroll, and I'll recant what I said about the art scroll because it's pretty good. I enjoy reading it. It's pretty good. There's a lot of good stuff in it. Some of the words are fairly big, but it's still a really, really, really good read. He said, and when Moses, he made the covenant before them, and he said, the heaven and the earth, these are the witnesses. Okay, what that means is they are going to last longer than anyone who was there to be a witness. So he made heaven and earth the witness. What that means is YAH has power over the rain, and he has power over the earth. So if it stops raining and you're not yielding crops, you need to know why. That's your witness. I thought that was really good. And the threshing, verse 5. Let's read verse 4 again. Then I shall give you rain in its season, and the land shall yield its crops. There you go. Two witnesses, heaven and the earth. Shamayim and Aretz. And the land shall yield its crops, and the trees of the field their fruit. And your threshing shall last till the end of the grape harvest, and the grape harvest shall last till the time of the sowing. And you shall eat your bread until you have had enough, and shall dwell in your land safely. And I shall give peace in the land. And we see all this of what is to come. This has not yet been fulfilled. But we see all of this as what is to come. And you read through all of the prophets. That's what they're talking about. There will be no sighing. There will be no sighing there. Give peace in the land, and you shall lie down, and no one make you afraid. And I shall clear the land of evil beasts. And you think about war continually over there now. That's what Israel has known as war. And there will be a time when YAH says, you will not be afraid. You shall eat your bread until you have enough, and shall dwell in your land safety. I shall give peace in the land, and you shall lie down, and no one make you afraid. And I shall clear the land of evil beasts, and not let the sword go through your land. And you shall pursue your enemies, and they shall fall by the sword before you. And 5 of you shall pursue 100, and 100 of you pursue 10,000, and your enemies shall fall by the sword before you. And I shall turn to you and make you bear fruit, and shall increase you, and shall establish my covenant with you. And you shall eat the old supply, and clear out the old because of the new. And I shall put my Mishkan in your midst, and my being shall not reject you. And I shall walk in your midst, and shall be your Elohim, and you shall be my people. I am Yah your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim from being their slaves, and I have broken the bars of your yoke and made you walk upright. I do like how Jason was talking about the priesthood forever, and you shall sit on the throne forever. That is a revelation of what is to come. There will be a time when the seed of David, whether it's going to be King David or whatever it's going to be, I'm not going to get into that, but that will be established then. There will be a priesthood forever. There will be a kingdom forever. There will be a king forever. And that's the same concept here. He's thinking about when you go into that land, you will have peace forever. There will be no more enemy. Why? Because Yah is going to destroy the nations, and there's not going to be anybody to go against Israel. Yah be with you. My favorite verse in this is 5 shall chase 100. 5 people are going to chase 100 away. Yah be with you. God of war. Yah is a champion. If you want anybody on your side, you want it to be Yah. But are there stipulations to that? Yes. You must be in his covenant. You must obey him. He has to be your Elohim. And notice, as we've talked about before, you cannot have your focus on anything else but him, because he is going to supply your needs. I was also thinking, because Yah's so good as he inspires us, when they were coming out of Egypt, he said, only take a little bit. He said, you're going to take your shoes, you're going to gird your loins, and you're going to get out in haste. You're not even going to have enough time to let your bread rise. And the reason is because everything over there was fully furnished. He said, when you go over there, there's going to be land, there's going to be houses, there's going to be food. It's going to be a house that's fully furnished. He said, I've already prepared that for you. You're leaving that old life and everything behind, looking forward to this new life. And I thought that was pretty good. You can't take anything with you. I'm not going to jump in my truck and hope that it makes it all the way to Israel. You can't take anything with you. And when we have this next Exodus, it's going to be the same way. You're going to have your shoes on your feet, your loins are going to be girt, and you're going to be ready to go. You're not going to have time for your bread to leaven. It's going to be a speedy retreat. I love y'all. Everybody have a good day. Shabbat shalom. Yah bless.